Hi everyone, it's Amy Parvaneh from Select Advisors Institute. What I thought I'd do today is go over the top 10 principles we abide by here in our sales and marketing consulting firm, Select Advisors Institute. What are our top 10 principles? What is everything we do, every task we do for our clients predicated on? Because it definitely needs to have a thesis statement before anything we do. And all of those principles are highlighted in our sales manual, which you could buy on your own from Amazon. I will hyperlink the link below, but I am going to go through page 10 of the manual. It might be easy for you
if you want to fast forward each one that I go over,
but just listen through because I'll go through some examples of what I mean as well. So it's to your own benefit to listen through individually because just the number and the topic may not make much sense. So let's get started. Let's go through the top 10 principles that we at Select Advisors believe will help you reach success through your practice of getting new clients, new asset acquisition, and business development. So number one, we all need broccoli, but it's typically not an inspiring conversation. Same thesis goes for we all need to think about going to the dentist. If we are not really into fitness and we hate it, we all know we need to do it, but it's just not inspiring. And I parlay that same message to what a lot of advisors are doing with their brand and messaging. It highlights the things that people know they need to do. They need to do financial planning. They need to be thinking about retirement. But it's just not ideal conversation to them when they are going at 5,000 miles an hour and building a business or amassing their wealth or wanting to spend more time with their grandkids, wanting to set up a meeting with you to talk about things that are sounding like broccoli. It's just not inspiring. So one of the key things we like to do is lead a lot of our messages with things that are more, for lack of a better word,
sizzling.
Like the book, The Greatest Salesman of All Time says, don't sell the steak, sell the sizzle. Sell what it is about your practice that really is something to look forward to that meeting. One of the best lines I ever heard from an advisor was, we want the meeting with us to feel like a round of golf rather than going to the dentist. And if your messaging sounds like going to the dentist or eating your broccoli, the prospect is just going to want to continuously postpone this meeting and not be excited about it. So your messaging has to sound and tell the positive as well as what they have to do. So number two within the Select Advisors principles is you can't control the results. You can control the level of activity. This is so important. A lot of times when we start working with advisors, the work we're doing here actually ends up not necessarily always resulting in what happens here. For example, the client might start getting a lot more referrals from their existing clients. Was it a massive coincidence that all of a sudden, as we're building their visibility, we're making them really socially active, their clients are giving them more referrals? No, it's not. When you put yourself in that business development mode, good results will come from left field. I remember I've always told the story that even when I was in wealth management, I would go to these galas, events, things like that, that weren't necessarily, reaping the results, but from left field, I would always see a lot of great benefits. So you can't control the results. You could only control the level of activity. And one of the things that Select Advisors we try to do is make sure you are active enough as well. Not just outsourcing it to someone else, but you're doing the work. You're in that mode of growth. So that's really important. Number three is if you do not have your goals of where you want to go with your practice, with your assets under management on a whiteboard where everyone on your team could see it and you are seeing it daily, whether it's right next to your coffee mug or if it's right on your front entrance where only your team could see it, then it's going to be forgotten. What you see or what you visualize, you materialize. It's just the movie The Secret says that, right? If you think about something, think about a red Ferrari, you're going to see a red Ferrari. It's just the way the world works. So you have to visualize where you want your assets to go, have it on an Excel sheet, have it on a whiteboard, and make sure you know, and it's crystal clear by when, and it has to be obviously reasonable. You can't go from 5 million to 1 billion by the end of the year. I mean, maybe you can, but you really have to be, doing the craziest things as far as going into massive business development mode. But anything is possible. You just have to really put your mind and head to it. Number 4 is really important, and even I have a poster literally where I could see it so I don't ever forget it. And the poster says, I used to care what people thought about me until one day I tried to pay my bills with their opinion. And this is so important. If you're worried about perception, you're not going to get the results. So number 4 is stop worrying about perception and do what is necessary. Don't stand on the sidelines watching someone else post things on social media. Don't stand on the sidelines watching someone else get on CNN or the New York Times. You do it. You do what is necessary to get there. Stop watching and start doing, and stop worrying about perception. As long as you're doing everything compliant wise, the loudest person, unfortunately, in this business wins. You really have to be visible. Otherwise, as much as you may have the greatest ideas, it's just going to go down the drain. Number 5, if they come, you will make it. What do I mean by that? We all know the Kevin Costner story where he said, that was a really, really fascinating movie. But unfortunately, it is extremely expensive to keep building things within your practice and no one will come. So what do I mean by that? A lot of times I see advisors like putting together lavish event, webinars, things like that, and they haven't even tested to see if there is demand or interest in this. So a lot of times if you have an idea, let's say you want to start doing a video blog, you want to start doing a video content of your material, if you want to start doing a wine and cheese webinar, happy hour, whatever it is, start actually telling a few of your biggest confidants, clients, hey, I'm thinking about having this wine and cheese event. When would work for you? So you're more telling it like this is something that you are doing. You don't have to have it planned yet. And start seeing what the reaction is of the person. Is the person going to say, oh, I don't know, I don't drink wine. And you start seeing that with a lot of the people, then don't do that event and see if you need to pivot or if the whole concept is not good. This will help you save a lot of time and money. And we try to do this with a lot of our clients. The theory might sound good, but we don't want to go down an alley, spend a lot of hours and time, and then it's not something that's even of interest. So test the market, whether it's you need to put it on your website or start dripping on a few people and seeing there is demand for this. That's really important. Number 6 is don't try to go from 0 to 100. Start small. And what I mean by that, and this is something we always try to help our clients with, which is don't try to ask a potential client to give you 100% of their assets right away if that person was not even interested to start talking to you. Start small. Start talking about something that really requires very little commitment from them. That could just be reviewing their cash in their savings account. What kind of interest rate is that cash yielding? That could be just an easy way to start small. Or it could be if you're trying to go into, building an audience for yourself on social media. Don't try to go crazy and start thinking that you need to go wild and then give up. Start small. Everything needs to start baby steps until you get to your goal. Number 7 is kind of connected to number 1. And remember, number 1 was don't lead with broccoli. Number 7 is how you should lead, and it's always lead with mutual benefits. Always make every relationship, every new connection you're trying to build, to be a win-win. You know, what's in it for them to want to meet with you? If it is to help them with their broccoli, it's just not going to happen. I hate to tell you this. So if it's not mutually beneficial, and we have a whole list of mutually beneficial content within this book, then you're going to be wasting your efforts. So always lead with things that are mutually beneficial. Number 8, we've talked a little bit about this, but about visualizing, but don't forget and underestimate the law of attraction. Where you surround yourself by, who you attract, is going to be very important in this business. If you're surrounding yourself with people who have no assets and nothing that will help you, then it's just going to be not a good platform for developing new assets. So who you surround yourself by, you're going to surround yourself with more and more of those people. And if you think you're a successful financial advisor, you're going to just attract more potential clients, prospects, COIs. It's a law of attraction. What you are thinking internally, you're going to be attracting that. I know sometimes I think about, I need to do more press coverage. And literally, as I start thinking about it, I start getting a lot of calls and emails from editors. It's just so random, because why wasn't it happening months ago, right? So think about what you want, and then the law of attraction will really help you get there. Another thing is, this really didn't happen to me until I went into consulting mode. We're really a lot of times paid by our hour. I started really reviewing what was I doing during the day. So I stopped taking meetings or calls that were just not going to be a good use of my time. So I want you guys to be doing the same. I see a lot of advisors picking up the phone and talking to people who have absolutely no rhyme or reason to help them. It's so much easier to talk to a wholesaler than to send 100 in-mails to people on LinkedIn and see if any connections will come through it. That was the same hour. So how did you utilize it? And a lot of times, if you didn't really need to talk to that wholesaler, you just did it because it's more comfortable, you just wasted that hour that could have been spent more effectively. Or even to speak with a coach who could help you repeat everything I just said. I think that's very important. And then the number 10 in our top list of principles is out of sight, out of mind. If you go a whole year with doing business development and then go 2 months just letting loose and forgetting about it, pretty much everything you've done gets stale. It's exactly like working out. If you are really into fitness, you definitely know what I'm talking about. If you've been working out, eating healthy, and then you go 1 month, max 2 months, you have basically undone everything you already did. Same thing, if you're gaining a lot of visibility, the minute you start being more invisible and just out of sight, you're going to start being out of mind. And remember, in this business, not everyone's always looking for a financial advisor right there. You need to be visible in order to gain that momentum, and then constantly be in front of them when things go awry or when they need additional resources to come to you. So hopefully this was helpful. I know it was long, but I wanted to go through a lot of examples. These are all written in our book, in our sales manual, which again, I've hyperlinked below. It also has a lot of different cool chapters that you could go through. And I will be creating more videos like this regarding the different chapters in our book. So if you have the manual, it's actually a lot more effective. So you could follow through with me. And as always, if there's any way we could be helpful to you, please use the link below so we could connect and we could discuss your goals and how we could be helpful to you. Thank you.